Hi everyone! Yes, I'm redesigning my old Lucy's again, I know. But this one is a little different, I promise. So, in case you haven't seen the first two videos from this series at this point, when I was in middle school I made a universe for my little characters. There were about 40 OCs in there, but the story was pretty much non-existent and the characters themselves were very boring and had little to no personality, so I decided to give them a new life. However, I am starting a completely new story in this video. I think in the first two parts there's enough story and characters for one universe, and I don't want to overcomplicate it. The new story is going to be a lot more lighthearted and fun. I really wanted to focus on fashion, makeup, and nails this time around. I kept the supernatural aspect though, don't worry. The basic concept of this universe is that the main characters are magical girls and famous influencers. I do want to give credit to this artist. They did a magical girls based around nails storyline, and I love the idea so much that I couldn't get it out of my head. I'm not completely ripping it off, but I still wanted to give credit because I haven't seen anyone else do something like this, and their story is really fun, so you should definitely check them out. Anyway, yeah, the main characters are magical girls, and they get their powers from their nails. They turn into sort of fairies and fight various villains. The general public knows that magic exists, and the main characters are actually in a team called Mani Magic Squad. You know, like manicure. I also want to say that I used name generators for the team name and the aliases of every character, so don't judge them too hard. Each character has their own unique ability. Inspired by the show The Boys, these characters, like Soups in The Boys, are very famous. People know about them. The only thing they don't know are the real identities of these characters. They're also not gonna be as corrupted and maniacal as the Soups. That's all the world building for now. Let's get to the characters. So the first character is Rachel Saito. Her original design is okay. I remembered her being a lot more alternative for some reason. She was just very bubbly, gay, and had a girlfriend with a completely different personality and style from her. Very original of me. Another trait of hers is that she loved wearing this pattern. There wasn't a story to her or anything like that, and I didn't even draw her all that much. I am changing her design drastically. I really wanted to do a Gyaru character. I have kind of drawn Gyarus before with the limited knowledge I had, and every time the process was so much fun, but for some reason I never made a full-on Gyaru character. I tried reading about the style more. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I get something wrong. Gyaru is a Japanese subculture that first emerged in the 1970s. The main idea of it is to rebel against the standards of beauty and behavior. The staples of this style are tan skin, dramatic makeup and hair, lots of accessories, colors and patterns, and long decorated nails. I love drawing all these elements, especially the makeup, the way they do their eyeliner to make their eyes look bigger. I love it. Anyway, my knowledge of the subculture is still pretty surface level, I would say. I know there's a bunch of types of Gyaru, but I'm not sure where Rachel falls exactly. Here's a little reference board I made for her. Rachel is obviously a Gyaru influencer. She posts selfies, pictures of food and drinks, makeup tutorials, outfit checks, and pictures of her girlfriend that I will show later. Personality-wise, she's a complete extrovert, super friendly, kind of loud at times, and constantly wants to go out and have fun. So originally her ethnicity wasn't specified, but I mean, she's pale with blue eyes, so probably white. Now she's half white, half Japanese, and not pale to match the style better. Her eyes are also naturally brown, but she wears blue contacts. That's also something a lot of gyros do. I really, really love how her face turned out. That's also something I wanted to focus on, different facial features. I spent a lot of time flipping the canvas and adjusting the face, which I do not do ever, but I think it paid off. I was so excited to draw the nails. Nails are also a big part of the Garu style. They are long, heavily decorated, and just so fun. I was tempted to do the duck feet shape for Rachel. A lot of people hate them. I think they look great on specific people, Garus especially. But I've already done that for my Toy Chica design, so I just went for a more square shape. For the nail art, I did bows, pearls, pink, and, of course, Hello Kitty. Sketching the nails was fun, and usually I feel like line art makes my drawings more crisp, but in this case I feel like it would have looked better if I did not do line art on them. I don't know why. I also had to go back and forth a little bit when coloring them, but it looks nice in the end, I think. I'm also adding their fairy forms as little chibis. I haven't decided if this is how they look when they turn. That would be funny. But I just didn't feel like drawing another full detailed character, so do with that what you will. Rachel's power is going to be flowers, kind of similar to Flora from Winx Club. Her alias is Petal Prism. She's also one of the most popular members in the team. People really love her. She loves her teammates so much. She's kind of the mom of the group. She gives them lunches, makes sure everything is in order, checks up on her friends constantly, and takes very good care of her girlfriend. Overall, I really enjoyed designing Rachel and coming up with her little story, and I just now decided that she's going to be trans as well because I have free will. Anyway, hope you like her too.
Ooh la la here, coming at you from Spaceport 9. Aliens have invaded and are forcing people to dance.
Next is Melanie Lou, Rachel's girlfriend. Her original design isn't that bad, and honestly looking at it now, I actually didn't change her that much, just drew it in my current style. So like I mentioned before, she was basically just Rachel's girlfriend with the opposite personality and aesthetic from her. I did that a lot. And neither of them had much of a story to them. They are still dating. I could never separate them. In this universe, Melanie is a runway model and kind of an influencer. Most of her popularity comes from her modeling job because of her unique look, and she's just a really good model. But she's not all that interested in social media. Her socials are more of a portfolio. Sometimes she's not even the one posting. At times you can see her more on Rachel's socials than her own, but still she makes it look aesthetically pleasing and professional. It's filled with videos from her runways or her photo shoots, but she never really takes selfies or just more casual kind of photos of herself. I didn't go for a specific style for Melanie, just something more edgy, I guess. I tried not to make it too complicated, so the focus is mostly on her face, hair, and accessories. Speaking of her face, I love it so much. It's just so different from what I usually do. As for makeup, her favorite thing is graphic eyeliner. I was so excited to do her nails, maybe even more than Melanie herself, and I think they turned out really cool and actually benefited from line art. I went for a stiletto shape, red, black, and silver, chains, crosses, and stuff like that. I think in the end her nails look really delicious and might be my favorite out of all of these. I also actually used references when coloring them, so the process was much smoother than with Rachel. I changed Melanie's ethnicity as well. It, again, used to be vague and not specified. My old style didn't exactly have many unique features, so it's hard to tell sometimes. Now Melanie is Chinese, and to clarify, her last name wasn't originally Liu. I changed it to fit the new story, and I did that with almost all characters in this video. Just want to make it clear that I didn't just randomly give her a Chinese last name when I was in middle school, that's all. Her power is blades. I imagine her nails turning into blades like claws or something like that, or she throws them at her enemies. That's kinda cool. And her alias is Fury Blade. I almost said furry. Personality-wise, she is very calm and reserved. Seems kind of intimidating at first, but when you actually talk to her, she's very shy and kind of awkward sometimes. And Rachel absolutely adores her for that. People really love their relationship. Deep down, Melanie feels like she doesn't deserve to be in the position she's in, which is partially why she doesn't put much effort into her social medias. She doesn't take selfies like other people because it doesn't feel natural to her. She also is pretty paranoid about her privacy, so doesn't go to social gatherings that often. She feels the most comfort and confidence when she is on the runway or in front of a camera. Melanie has a lot of fans, but she doesn't really have to do anything for that. She does her thing, and people love it. Outside of fighting villains, she actually doesn't spend that much time with her teammates. She loves them dearly, but she is simply too busy with her modeling job most of the time, and sometimes she feels guilty because of that, especially when there's a new inside joke that she's not in on or something like that. But Rachel makes sure that Melanie doesn't feel left out, ever. I had so much fun with her. With Rachel, I was still figuring out how I'm going to do these redesigns, what composition I want to do, and with Melanie it was already all figured out, so the process was much smoother. Hope you like it as much as I do.
I'm just writing addresses all day today. The 2 reservations we have for this afternoon both asked for Catalea.
Next is Susie Parker. The most interesting part of her original design were the moles covering her entire body, so of course I had to keep that. I'm repeating myself, but she didn't have much of a story or personality to her, and I really wanted to work on that. Well, I might be lying a little bit, but that will make sense later, I promise. She is now going to be the coquette girly of the group. I really love the coquette style. It literally inspired me to make Cat, one of my favorite OCs I have. Coquette is kind of a recent trend. The word means flirtatious in French. The staples of this style are pastel colors, lace, bows, floral patterns. It's just a very cute and feminine style, and it suits Susie very well. I also gave her super long hair that's almost reaching the floor. It just makes me think of fairies, and it's really dreamy and flowy and feminine, and it's not yellow. I don't know why I would make it straight up yellow. In my head, she was blonde. So in the story, Susie is actually the one doing everyone's nails. She charges up their powers through nail art. But on missions, she draws something and uses it as a weapon, something like that. And her alias is Manny Muse. You cannot tell me that name isn't cute. Her social medias are mostly her nail art. She has her own little salon as a side job. It's very popular because not only are her works gorgeous, they are also magical. Usually it's the interactive decorations she puts on, but the polish also grows with the nail, so you don't have that gap when your nail grows in, and you don't have to fill them in all the time. You can wear them for as long as you want. Susie also has a boyfriend, but that's a little bit of a difficult situation. I'll explain in a bit. In the group, like I said, she does everyone's nails to keep their powers strong. She's not super popular as a Mani Magic member, she's mostly known for her art, but the other members really love and cherish her. She's probably the closest with Max, that I will get to in a second, but loves all the members equally. Her nails are obviously coquette inspired. I went for an almond shape, I think. I tried to make the bases of the nails look like jelly nails and added some pearls, bows, pearl bows, and crystals for decorations. These definitely aren't as crazy and detailed as the other characters' nails, but that's kind of how the style is. I still think they turned out very delicate and pretty. There's some more plot that I have for her, but I can't reveal that right now. You will have to be patient. But I had a lot of fun with Susie's design and coming up with her story. I think she looks very sweet and cute and coquette, and I really love her.
Usually he's brash and impulsive, but he can be so naive too. Almost like a little kid.
Next character is Max Hart. The original design looked cooler in my head. They were supposed to be really cute and bubbly, but I just didn't quite push it that far. I'm changing them quite a bit. The only thing I really left is their personality. I really wanted to give Max a Decora/Kitcore makeover. They're also non-binary now and black. I just came across so many cute black hairstyles when looking for references, so I had to. Decora is a very prominent Japanese fashion style. The staples of it are a lot of bright colors, accessories, and fun hair and makeup. There's not a specific silhouette to it or anything, and it is very fun and almost childlike. I had so much fun looking at the references, and putting the design together was so great. I was so excited working on this design, but then I was not very excited to actually draw it. I knew I wanted to add a lot of details to it since that's how the style is, but then I had to draw them all. That took a while, but I think it paid off in the end. Max probably took me the longest to draw. I really wanted to make sure there's enough details, and also rainbow designs are a little difficult to do. You can't just make every little thing rainbow. In most cases that's not gonna look very good, but I also didn't want to make it too matchy because Decora is kind of a chaotic style. I tried adding a few more neutral areas where you can rest your eyes, and then I really went in on the rainbow parts, especially that cardigan. I really love patchwork cardigans. I even made one for myself, but it took a while to color. The hair is also one of my favorite parts of this. I haven't drawn this type of hairstyle with the beads in a very long time, so this was awesome. I think in the end this design really came together, and I'm glad I took my time with it. But from there I got a little bit lazy. The nails aren't my favorite. I like the gummy bear nail, and I like that they have a rainbow gradient and glitters, but the decorations aren't really doing it for me. I'm not sure what it is, and I really did not try on a chibi. I was tired. Max's power is size manipulation. Basically, they can change their size with their clothes. I am not bothering with making it make sense. They just do that. And their alias is Miniature Magica. Max is the gremlin of the group. They constantly use their power to cause mischief. Online, they share silly pictures of the other members. They definitely take these type of pics of them all the time. They also do fit checks, get ready with me videos where they just put together another crazy outfit, and just cute photos that they force Susie to take. Like I mentioned before, they are the closest with Susie. Other members tend to be really busy or just out doing whatever, so often the two of them are left to hang out. Max's nails also take the longest to do, mostly because Max changes their mind about the designs all the time, and just in general they struggle with making decisions, from small things to pretty important stuff. And that's all for Max. Drawing this was difficult at times, but in the end I really love the new design. Hope you do too. Also, this redesign might be the farthest from the original in this video. Like, yeah.
And what if we mess up? Oh no. What is this place?
And last but not least is Mark Young. The old Mark is kind of an interesting case. Well, first of all, he is Susie's boyfriend. I would draw them together pretty often. I think they had some backstory where they went to school together. Mark didn't have a very good reputation. He was kind of a delinquent, but somehow they still ended up together. They were pretty much the he's mean to everyone but me trope. I don't like that anymore. And his design was a weird mix of alternative and not alternative. Like, he had snake bites and a bunch of tattoos, but then dressed like an average Joe and had the most non-alt haircut ever. I don't know what I was doing. I wanted to make him a lot more alternative. I've been really liking this kind of style lately. Not sure if it has a name, but I really wanted to do that. He is Korean now. Again, I changed his last name for this. I did not randomly give him a Korean last name in middle school. This drawing came together so smoothly. I was kind of impressed with myself. I was just giggling and kicking my feet at how great everything looked. I actually probably drew him the fastest out of all the characters. I kind of stopped drawing male characters much, especially with their body shape visible, but this was fun. So in the story, he is still Susie's boyfriend. I try not to separate the relationships in these videos. They met in a cafe, started talking, and over time began dating. They really bonded over nail art. Mark is also into it, and he does his own nails. I took a lot of inspiration from Annie and Huey in The Boys, especially at the start of their relationship. Sorry, I just finished the show recently and it's all I'm thinking about. And the inspiration is pretty heavy since they both have some secrets they hide from each other. What are those secrets, you say? Well, Susie obviously hides that she's part of Manny Magic, just to be sure that Mark's intentions are genuine and he's not just dating her because she's a magical girl in a famous team. And Mark, well, he is actually one of the villains that Manny Magic has fought before. Dun, dun, dun. He also has a power. In his case, it's super speed. And yes, with that power, I gave him huge stompers for shoes and the baggiest pants ever. I know. His alias is Quick Strike. Though he is a villain, he's not a terrible person. He genuinely likes Susie, cares about what she says, what she likes, what she dislikes, though he struggles with expressing it. He just kind of gets her gifts and gives them to her with a serious face, not saying anything, and when Susie is not looking, he feels confident to look at her with a smile. He's just shy like that. Thanks to his power, his villain deeds don't get noticed that often. He also keeps his identity completely hidden by wearing dark glasses and a thick mask. That's also why Susie doesn't recognize him, so they both keep those parts of themselves hidden from each other. But other than that, their relationship is very cute. Online, Mark posts his outfits and some more casual photos with his friends. For his nails, I just went for black and silver. Not super complicated, but I still really like the end result. I am so proud of this drawing. Like, actually, the process was great. It looks awesome. He compliments Susie well, in my opinion. I hope you like him too.
Oh, hey Fiona. Lumpy Space Prince is throwing a party in the woods. It's gonna be freaky nasty. I know you're gonna say yes to me, so let's just go.
And this is all for today. These designs took me a while to do, but I think it all paid off in the end. They all look so different. I love that. As for the story, I don't want to make it super complex. I just want to have something more lighthearted, kind of like Winx Club or something like that. But I am always open to suggestions and more ideas, so if you have any, feel free to leave them in the comments. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Check out my other socials, they will be on the screen and in the description. Stay safe and I'll see you in another video. Bye!